You mentioned that you conducted a lot of interviews, you're reaching out to people. I mean, give us a sense of how you do it. These are people who don't necessarily want to speak. Either they're in state security organizations or they're in criminal organizations. Do you just call them up? What do you say? If you do you reach out through intermediaries? All of the above? I mean, are there any tricks you think that you use to get people to talk? And then do you build a relationship with them? Clearly, in the case of Kelly, it appears that you did. I mean, just give us what did it take to get the sources to write the book? I know that's within your wider reporting as well, but just in terms of the building this enormous number of interviews, which then pulls the story together, your approach and perhaps your frustrations around doing some of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a big challenge, and I think I'd say what I like as a reporter, where I feel comfortable always is, there's a foundational sort of document trail to whatever I'm doing, which I can use as a sort of architecture to build, to identify who I should be approaching to talk to. So, frequently, in this book, there were a lot of different criminal cases, dating over, 30 years. There were also all sorts of other sorts of, there was a UN tribunal evidence, and, different documents from different agencies, documents from Colombian agencies or Czech agencies. And, there were so many. And it gives you, that gives you a sort of firm footing to then think like, okay, well, who was working there at the time? Or, in an indictment, these people were named, frequently, you begin by sort of, in the case of criminals, often they're in prison, in many instances, or dead, or fugitives. So they're difficult to contact for sure. And, we obviously have to be sort of, we want to give people the, right, the most basic level, just the right to reply and to make an effort to contact them. And so that could be through their lawyers, or that sometimes people do actually want to talk. Sometimes people surprisingly want to talk. And there's obviously a lot of, there are contentious issues, and sometimes people feel like they haven't been heard or portrayed fairly. Yeah, so it's a sort of, it's a process of exploration where you sort of map out your universe, and you try and get in contact with people, sometimes who are impossible to get in contact with, sometimes who you think are impossible, but actually somehow you find them. And you are just trying to be straightforward and honest, and explain what you're doing and what you want to talk about.